Well, that's what this book is about, the new book, The Serpent of Light. The Kundalini of the planet, from a human being, it comes from the base of the person and moves up their chakra system. And it moves like a snake. It moves in a sine wave signatures. It moves up the body. And in the earth, it comes from the center of the earth, the very, very center of the earth, which is the base chakra for the planet. And it comes up again in the same kind of way, and it comes up to the surface, and it links. So the two poles of the center of the earth and the pole of where it connects to on the surface of the earth, in between there becomes the chakra points of the earth. But it's temporary. It stays there only for it stays in one location for about 13,000 years. Geological time, that's pretty temporary. And then every 13,000 years it moves to a different location on the surface of the earth. And wherever it moves to, wherever it chooses, we don't have any control over that. Wherever it chooses, the people that live in that area, and it goes out for quite a ways. I don't really know, but I'd have to I could figure that out but I would say for at least 700 miles or so in radius around that area, anybody living in that area, it triggers their Kundalini. And so what happens is those people end up becoming the teachers of the world, the light of the world. The last time, it's just moved. And that's what this book is about, is this movement from where it was before to where it is now. And the journey, the stories, the history around this, because it involved close to somewhere in the vicinity of 1,000 indigenous tribes were involved in this. And so were the Tibetans and the Hindus deeply involved in this. They all knew this was occurring, and everybody just kept quiet and never said a word. It's incredible. Now that it is moved, and it's no longer where it was and where it is now, it's okay to talk about it now. It used to be in the western mountains of Tibet, and and the Serpent of Light is the light of the world. It is the energy that not only those people that are in that tight figure, but it's for the whole planet. It affects everyone, and so that energy was there in the western mountains of Tibet, in a remote area where there has never ever been civilization that they know of ever, in very high up in the mountains, but down in a valley inside those mountains. And long ago, 13,000 years before this time, someone built a huge white pyramid over the spot where it was located. It's the biggest pyramid in the world. It's bigger than the Great Pyramid or any of them. And I was fortunate enough to speak with the exploration team that found this pyramid. And they came to me. It's in the book, but they came to me because of something they found there. The pyramid, they said, it took them 6 months to get to it. And it's under snow the entire year. So a white pyramid under snow. But 2 weeks approximately out of every year, the snow melts and you can see the pyramid, and then it's under snow again. And so they had to time their trip to get there perfectly. And they did. Actually, the first time they did it, they didn't do it right. They had to do it differently the second time, and they made it. And the pyramid has no... they said it looked like it was built yesterday. It was flawless. It was perfect. All the casing stones were on it perfectly. No one has seen it. And there's no writing on it. There's no hieroglyphics. There's no pictures. There's nothing except for one thing. And unlike the Great Pyramid, it's not sealed. There's an opening. It's open to the world to walk into. And you walk in, and there's this huge inner room inside of it, and high up in one of the walls is the Flower of Life. Wow. And it's the only thing that's on there. And so, since I was teaching about that that's what they said, what does this mean? And why is that in there? You know, and that began, that's how this, the Serpent of Light story began. That was way back in 85 or 86, some back in there. The Flower of Life is found all over the world. The Mayans knew about it here. It's at Chichen Itza, and it's at another location. They brought me down into a pyramid to show me there. But first place I found it was on a 6,000-year-old wall in Egypt, where the very first find. Well, I had already known about the Flower of Light before we found it anywhere, because the spheres of light, or the angels, had been teaching me for a long time on the sacred geometry and how it all worked. I mean, I remember when I was first month after meeting them, they had me create a little star tetrahedron, which I think is like this little thing right back here. And I made it out of 8 little triangles of cardboard, and I put it together, and I had it in my hand. They made me make it. And then they go, and I made it and said, well, okay, now what? I mean, this was like, what is this stupid little thing, you know? What is this, you know? And they were saying, well, it's really important. And so it took me a long time of studying of sacred geometry and understanding before I was able to get to the place to know what I know now. And eventually, the study of sacred geometry, no matter where you begin or who you are, I don't care what planet you're on or where, it doesn't make any difference. If you keep studying sacred geometry, you will always end up with the Flower of Life, because it's the key to everything, and it is the container of all other sacred geometry. It has everything in it.